Picture the aisle. You are a tired parent, and you reach past the cheaper jar for the one with the little green seal, the leaf, the word organic in soft, reassuring letters. You pay more, and you feel better because you just protected your baby. Here is the uncomfortable truth. That seal does not test for the one thing you are probably most afraid of. In 2018, Consumer Reports tested 50 baby foods, 20 of them organic, and their finding was blunt. The organic foods were, as a whole, just as likely to contain heavy metals as the conventional ones. Not safer, just as likely. Lead, arsenic, cadmium, the exact contaminants that headline every scary baby food story, showing up in the organic jars at the same rates as the regular ones. And I'm going to be straight with you the whole way through because this topic is a magnet for fearmongers, and I am not one. Organic is a real label. It means something. It is just that what it means and what parents think it means are two very different things. Because here is the idea at the center of this entire video. Organic tells you how the food was grown. It tells you almost nothing about what is actually inside it. By the end of this, you will know exactly which organic labeled brands showed up in a congressional investigation with high levels of toxic metals. And, more importantly, how to actually spot the ones worth trusting. And one of the most surprising names on this list is a brand that won a Purity Award and then tested positive for lead anyway. So let us start with what that green seal actually promises, because most parents have never been told. The USDA organic label is run by a real federal program, and to earn it, a food has to be grown a certain way. No synthetic pesticides, no genetic modification, no sewage sludge, no irradiation, land kept clean for 3 years. That is genuinely valuable. If your reason for buying organic is to reduce your baby's pesticide exposure, the label delivers. That benefit is real, and I'm not here to take it from you. But look at that list again. Every single rule is about farming, about the field, the soil practices, the seed. There is not one requirement in there about testing the finished jar for lead. Not one. The organic program sets no limit on heavy metals in the food a baby actually eats, and it does not screen for them. And that is the trap because of where these metals come from. Lead, arsenic, and cadmium are not sprayed on. They are naturally in the soil and water, legacy pollutants that have been sitting in farmland for decades, and every crop pulls them up through its roots, whether that farm is organic or not. As Consumer Reports' own expert, Charlotte Vallies, put it, because these metals are contaminants in the soil, there is no reason organic baby foods would contain lesser amounts. An organic carrot and a regular carrot grow in the same poisoned ground. The leaf on the label cannot change the dirt, so we have two completely different questions that parents blur into one. Question 1, was this food grown with fewer pesticides? For that, organic helps. Question 2, does this food contain heavy metals or too much sugar? For that, the organic seal is silent. It was never designed to answer it. Remember that, because organic tells you how it was grown, not what is inside it. And once you separate those two questions, the whole aisle looks different. Which brings us to the brands. In February of 2021, a congressional subcommittee published an investigation into toxic metals in baby food, and the data came from the company's own internal testing. This was not some fringe group. This was the United States Congress using the manufacturer's own numbers. And organic labeled brands were right there in it. Earth's Best Organic, one of the most trusted names on the shelf made by Hain Celestial. According to that report, its finished products contained inorganic arsenic up to 129 parts per billion. Its ingredients tested for lead as high as 352 parts per billion. To give you a yardstick, the limit for lead in bottled water is 5. Hain even had an internal limit of 200 parts per billion. and the report found ingredients that blew past its own ceiling. Then Plum Organics, another premium organic brand. The follow-up report that September found Plum's finished products testing up to 225 parts per billion of inorganic arsenic. And Sprout Organic Foods, which the subcommittee singled out, saying its testing practices appeared to be even more reckless because it allowed ingredient testing only once a year and did not test its finished products at all. Now, in fairness, and I promised you fairness, the companies pushed back hard. Hain said the report used outdated data that did not reflect its current practices. And a crucial point, most of those sky-high numbers were from raw ingredients, not always the finished jar. But that defense runs straight into our anchor. Organic tells you how it was grown, not what is inside it. These were organic certified brands, and the certification did nothing to catch the metals because catching metals was never its job. And it is not just the old guard. The newer, cleaner premium brands are not automatically safe either. An independent tester who goes by Lead Safe Mama has lab-tested trendy organic snacks. And in 2024, she reported lead in Serenity Kids Puffs at 24 to 30 parts per billion. That brand carried a purity award from a private certifier. In 2025, she flagged an organic Cerebelli pouch that tested positive for lead and arsenic. Now, these are detections reported by an advocate, not proof that any one pouch harmed a child. And I want to be precise about that. But it tells you something. A clean-looking organic label and even a purity badge is not a lab result, which raises the obvious question. If the label cannot tell you, what can? So let us make this genuinely useful because this is the part that actually changes your next shopping trip. Here is the mindset shift. Stop asking the label whether the food is safe, because the label answers a different question. Organic tells you how it was grown, not what is inside it. So you go find what is inside it. And for the first time, you actually can. The biggest thing to happen for parents is not on the front of the box. It is a California law called AB 899. Since January of 2025, baby food companies selling in California have to test their finished products for these 4 metals and publish the results, often behind a QR code right on the package. Because no company makes a separate product just for one state, that disclosure is spreading nationwide. So scan the code, check the brand's published test results. A number on a screen beats a leaf on a label every single time. Second, favor the brands that choose to show their testing. Companies like Once Upon a Farm have been recognized for publishing their heavy metal results openly. Willingness to be tested by an outsider is the real signal, not the marketing on the front. Third, and this one is free, vary the diet and go easy on rice. Rice absorbs arsenic from soil more than almost any crop, so organic rice cereal and organic rice puffs tend to carry the highest loads. Rotate through oats, barley, and a wide range of fruits and vegetables. No single food dominates the plate, so no single contaminant dominates your baby. And here is the mistake that undoes everything. Do not let organic talk you into feeling so safe that you feed the same 3 pouches every day. The health halo of that green seal is exactly what makes parents stop reading, stop rotating, stop checking. The label was supposed to lower your worry. Do not let it lower your attention. And just when you think you have the metals figured out, there is a second thing the organic seal quietly says nothing about: sugar. Because organic does not mean low sugar, not even close. An organic fruit pouch can be almost entirely fruit concentrate, delivering 8, 12, sometimes 16 grams of sugar in one little squeeze. And the label can proudly say no added sugar while that number stays sky high, because the sugar came from the fruit itself. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends no added sugar at all for children under 2. The World Health Organization, looking at thousands of baby foods in Europe in 2019, warned that far too many were simply too high in sugar, organic ones included. That reassuring green leaf sits right next to a sugar load that would not look out of place in a dessert, and nothing about the word organic warns you. So the seal is silent on metals and silent on sugar, the two things parents worry about most. Which means the label you trusted the most may be the one telling you the least about what actually matters. So let us go back to that aisle, and to you reaching past the cheaper jar for the green seal, feeling that little wave of relief. That feeling is the thing this whole video is really about, because that relief was aimed at you, not earned by the jar. Organic is a real, meaningful label, and if you buy it to cut pesticides, keep buying it with confidence. But it was never a heavy metal test, and it was never a sugar test. Organic tells you how it was grown, not what is inside it, so you become the person who checks what is inside it. Scan the QR code, read the sugar line, not just the front of the box, rotate the grains, limit the rice, offer real whole foods when you can, and please hear the part that matters most. None of this means stop buying organic, and it absolutely does not mean stop feeding your baby. The FDA and pediatricians are clear. A varied, normal diet is the single best protection there is, and a fed baby is what matters. If you are ever truly worried, that is a conversation for your pediatrician, not a reason to panic in aisle 6. Because the real skill here was never trusting a label, it was learning to look past it. The green seal tells you how your baby's food was grown. From now on, you are the one who knows how to find out what is actually in it. If this helped you see that baby food aisle a little more clearly, subscribe and stick around, because we dig into the products in your home that nobody else is willing to question.